The legend of gunslingers in the Wild West echoes in the stories that they left behind, though often people get so wrapped up in the legend that they begin to convolute what's actually true. And in today's video we're going to be taking a look at one such example of that. In Red Dead Redemption 2 you may know of the famed western hero Jim Boy Calloway, the fastest left-handed drawer in the West. So famous that they even made a cigarette card about him. And he also appears in issue 132 of Wild West Heroes, in which Calloway supposedly meets with Landon Ricketts while trying to infiltrate a Mexican army fort. Ricketts initially holds Calloway at gunpoint and they briefly converse before Ricketts lets Calloway continue on his way, but not without giving him some advice: keep jumping from one side of the fence to the other and you might just get impaled on it. Ricketts later does say this to John Marston in Red Dead Redemption. But I think you more or less get the point. Jim Boy Calloway is a big deal western hero. But how much of his reputation is truth and how much is just a story? Well, the string of side missions, the noblest of men and a woman, is more than likely where our answers lie. Now, even if you didn't take it anywhere, you've probably started this mission chain, as early on in the game in chapter 2 it's pretty hard to miss in Valentine. Now, in order to start this mission you need to go to Keen's saloon.
Come on, sir, try to remember what really happened at Sylvia's saloon back in '76.
Just a lot of bunk, Plato. It's just a lot of bunk.
It's not bunk, Mr. Calloway, sir. It's history.
Ancient history, done and dusted. The dead got off lucky, the living gotta keep suffering. Same as always.
But did you shoot the Newton twins?
I don't give a pig's penis about the Newton twins. One of them was a girl, anyhow.
But you had been friends back in '73. You rode the Alabaster Trail together.
Funny thing about pigs' penises. They're curly, like their tails. Put that in your fucking book, Plato.
This isn't going very well.
Apparently not.
This is Jim Boy Calloway. The Jim Boy Calloway.
Who?
The gunslinger. Fastest left-handed draw that ever drew breath. He once killed 14 men in a fight at Lucy Hollow.
What are you waiting for?
How do you mean?
Well, I reckon right now, kill him yourself.
I don't want to kill him. I want to deify him. He's a god. I'm trying to write his biography.
And how's that going?
I think I prefer the duel. Either I'd kill him and be able to be Baltimore's finest ever gunslinger, or he'd kill me and I could be set free from ever having to speak to him again.
Well, you're starting to understand something very important.
What's that?
The joys of gunslinging. It's win-win, freedom or glory.
That's brilliant. I'm gonna write that down, if I may.
Be my guest.
What's your name?
I don't have a name.
But you are a gunslinger.
Not really. I mean, folks who need shooting, I try and shoot in the back. All that other stuff, it's, well, bunk.
But you fought duels.
Once upon a time, I may have.
And you ain't interested in fame.
I don't think so.
Strange. But you like fortune.
I need money, sure.
Okay, then forgive me, mister, if I seem a little desperate. I am a little desperate. This book, I've got to make a thing of it, and, well, there's a whole list of gunfighters. Legends, every last one. Emmett Granger. Flaco Hernandez. Billy Midnight. Black Belle.
Never heard of him.
Maybe you can go and speak to them. Ask them about Calloway. Any of them get uppity, shoot them. I can't believe I just said that, but...
You want me to go and find some sad, deluded fools like him, ask if he was the greatest, and then if they get uppity, shoot him?
Does sound a lot worse than it did in my head.
How much you paying?
Well, a lot. Half the proceeds of the book, if you help me get it written.
I'll see what I can do.
Ha! Oh, get photos.
Okay.
And there are notes on the back of those portraits that should lead you to him.
I'll see what I can find out.
I imagine we'll be stuck here upon your return. Here are some other flophouse.
So Theodore Levin sends us on a trek across the world map to find 4 legendary gunslingers who crossed paths with Jim Boy Calloway. Those 4 being Emmett Granger, Flaco, Hernandez, Billy Midnight and Black Belle. Before we continue along, it's important to note that Jim Boy Calloway seems quite reluctant to tell Theodore Levin about the past, passing it off as just bunk, which in turn is making Theodore Levin quite frustrated because his job's just gotten a whole lot harder. Jim Boy Calloway is also drunk in every single scene that we see him in, a far cry from the legendary gunslinger that he's made out to be. To reveal the locations of the 4 legendary gunslingers, you need to inspect the photographs that Theodore Levin gives you, and they will just give you the location that they're at for some reason. Flaco Hernandez is up in the mountains, Emmett Granger is down near Flatneck Station, which is south of Valentine, Billy Midnight is at the Rhodes train station, sorry that the map doesn't reveal it, obviously this save is far too fresh, and Black Belle is not too far northeast of that. First we'll go to Emmett Granger, who now resides on a pig farm.
What do you want?
Howdy. You Granger?
That's my name. And my occupation, too, if you hadn't noticed.
Weren't always like that, though, were you? Used to be a quick draw guy. You knew Jim Boy Calloway?
Used to be's correct. Them days are long over. And who might you be?
Don't matter. I need you to tell me about Jim Boy. Just a quote for a book.
A book about Jim Boy? Well, shit. I can't talk to you now. Look at me. I'm knee-deep in hog crap.
Well, don't mind me. We can talk while you work.
I ain't talking and shoveling.
So while we do Emmett's job for us, he starts talking to us about Jim Boy Calloway, but more so himself.
Jim Boy weren't nothing, you know. Me? I killed men, women, and children, too. Animals. I even killed rocks.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna have to pause that one there. How do you... Okay.
And I killed them good. I shot folks, stabbed folks, skinned folks. I scalped some. Boy, they scream when you scalp them. I bashed folks, butchered folks. I burned folks alive. Buried folks alive. One time,
Hey, I get it, all right? You're mean. What about Calloway?
You have no idea, girlie. Why, a feminine type like you, I'd probably have chopped your head off, stuffed you, and eaten you like a sausage.
I guess I'm done.
Get that barrel to the shit pile, and I suppose you is.
All right. Okay, I cleaned up your mess. Go on. Tell me about Calloway.
I said I'd tell you stories. I didn't say they'd be about him.
Don't trifle with me, old man. You knew him. Just give me something, anything.
You making a book, you should make it about me.
They're just words, is all. Give me something to say and I'll leave you alone. You owe me that.
Hey, you be careful. Killer like me, it don't take much to end up on the end of my knife. One
Hey,
time...
you know what? I don't think you were anything at all. Just a crazy old man.
I ain't a killer? Well, you'd already be hog feed. I hadn't made a deal with the Federals, got this farm.
This is your last chance, Mr. Granger. Give me a quote for the book.
Hey, you don't hit no man of peace, no government witness.
What's weird is, for all the tough talk from before, Emmett did seem to kind of cave to Arthur's threat. Meaning the most likely scenario is that this bloke is full of shit. Kinda ironic considering the job he had us doing. So naturally next we lob dynamite at a pile of the poo.
No. No. No! You did not!
You just took yourself a regular shit shower, Mr. Granger.
Which angers Granger enough to draw on us, which makes us kill him. There wasn't much to this guy after all, but he didn't have anything really positive to say about Jim Boy Calloway. There's nothing in his house that's particularly relevant, so we're just going to move on. In order to find Billy Midnight, you're going to want to head to the Rhodes train station.
Welcome.
Hey, you there. A quick word.
What can I do for you, sir?
There's an old gunslinger I'm looking for. Heard he comes through here. Name of Midnight? Billy?
Oh, that old soak? Yeah, he spends days on board these trains, but he's going nowhere but the gutter. I imagine you'll find him right in the next one through here. Either that or the next one. Try them both. Look in the bar car.
Mr. Midnight?
Excuse me, I'm trying to drink.
Mr. Midnight, listen, this won't take a moment. I just want to talk with you about your old days as a shootist.
Get away from me!
Hey,
I didn't shoot him in his sleep.
no one's
I didn't
saying
shoot him
that.
in his sleep, and if I did, it was the only way.
Not a problem. I'm here about Jim Boy Calloway, and no one shot him yet.
I knew you'd come for me. Get away from me!
So next we find ourselves chasing Billy Midnight, and before he says anything we find ourselves dueling him. Now this guy's a fast gun, so if you don't cheat you're gonna die. Now it's worth mentioning that Billy Midnight was drunk, and clearly felt guilty over somebody that he killed dishonorably, even if he believed it was the only way. Paranoid that we were there to apprehend him for whatever he did. And the mention of Jim Boy Calloway seemed to have no bearing. We're 2 gunslingers down, and so far neither has had anything legendary to say about our legend. Up next is Flaco Hernandez, who's back in the mountains. He's chilling with a tiny crew of Del Lobos gang members, up at a camp by a frozen pond. Naturally, of course, you will have to kill these gang members, because they're not too interested in talking.
Flaco Hernandez, you in there? I didn't want trouble, but I'm just here to speak with you about Boy Calloway. I'm unarmed. I just want to talk about Boy Calloway.
Sure. Here's your message.
So Flaco Hernandez doesn't have anything to say either, he just tries to draw against Arthur as well. So now we're 3 gunslingers down and none of them have had anything good to say, and the latter 2 haven't had anything to say about Boy Calloway. There's also a lockbox in this cabin, so definitely go ahead and check it out. Now you're probably wondering, why did I go to this character as opposed to going to Black Belle, even though Black Belle was closer to Billy Midnight's location? Well, that is because the Black Belle encounter is the standout of the 4, as it doesn't end with you killing her, like it did with the other 3 gunslingers.
You there?
Oh, hello?
You a bounty hunter?
Well, not right now, I ain't. You Black Belle? I'd like to talk to you about your Wild West days.
I don't care much for reminiscing. You got any friends as bounty hunters?
None that spring to mind.
Well, then you done led them boys here and you none the wiser.
Ah, those bounty hunters.
Knew my luck had run out sooner or sooner.
Well, get inside. I'll tell them you're gone.
Oh, no. I ain't hiding from them scalp hunters. Not running from them neither. And fighting? Yeah, if it's just me against them, that'd be a waste of time and nitroglycerin.
Well, let me know what I can do.
You want that Wild West story, don't you?
Yes, I do.
All right, get up here quick. Now when I give you the word, hit that. Whole place is wired.
Black Belle, I got a contract here for your life or your liberty. We'd sooner it be liberty.
That's mighty reasonable, mister. Come here, let me take a look at it. Come on. Now.
So after that cutscene we find ourselves helping Black Belle fight off bounty hunters. She doesn't seem immediately hostile towards us, so maybe she'll give us some information about Boy Calloway.
Woo! Is that the last of them?
Yeah. You got them scalp hunters off your back.
For now.
For now. So, you gonna tell me about your Wild West days? Running with Jim Boy Calloway?
Little Boy Calloway? The only running he did was away from a fight. And that's about the end of it.
Well, the man's apparently a famous gunslinger.
Yeah, so they say. But, don't get what's famous confused with what's true. The ones of us that lived that life, we was too busy being scared for our scalp to talk to no newspaper writers or dime novel men.
Well, what were they like then? Those days they all talk about.
Same as now, I guess. Only longer ago.
So it appears as if Jim Boy Calloway is not quite the Western hero that people make him out to be. And according to Black Belle, the only running he did was away from a fight. And as Emmett Granger put it, he wasn't anything. Flaco, Hernandez and Billy Midnight have nothing to say about him. Neither even acknowledges that they remember him. Even Boy Calloway himself doesn't seem too keen on what he's famous for, referring to it as bunk. After this, provided you're far enough along in the main story, if you head back to the saloon where you find Boy Calloway to begin with, you'll be met by the continuation of this story.
Hey, I'm looking for some fellers sojourned around here. Boy Calloway and a rider called Levin.
Drunk boy Calloway. This bar's got bullet marks to remember him by. Last I heard, they was in Saint Denis. Had rooms on a riverboat there.
Saint Denis? On the riverboat? Okay then.
Turns out Boy Calloway's now on a riverboat in Saint Denis, so why don't we go pay him a visit? And more importantly, Theodore Levin along with him. I took a carriage here to save time and, yeah, okay.
This is the Grand Corrigan Riverboat, queen of the land ahead.
Hey, I'm looking for Boy Calloway and a man writing a book about him. This the riverboat they're staying on?
Yes, sir, they're here. Around this time, Mr. Calloway usually enjoying a drink on the observation deck.
And every other time, no doubt.
You can follow me. If you're quick, you might catch him sober.
Theodore Levin, right?
Why, yes. Who are you?
You still writing that book?
Still talking about it, which is probably the problem. Well, you gonna introduce yourself?
It's best I don't give you too many details, but an old friend of mine asked me to give a list of old gunslingers you wanted looked up, and, well, they've been looked up.
Yeah! Well, any good anecdotes?
Anecdotes?
From the old days.
To be honest, things went a little differently. A lot of people got shot. I thought that was sort of what you wanted.
Well, I'd, yes, that'll be fine. Do you think anyone noticed it was you?
Noticed? People I shot noticed.
I mean, do you think anyone would mind if we said he'd done it? Boy Calloway.
Sure, I don't care. Just as long
Share
as...
the money? Of course I will. Literature is a filthy business, but sometimes it pays well, especially when you lie.
Great.
Not so goddamn fast. What the hell's going on here?
Nothing.
Who's this grass snake?
You know, I don't know.
Have you been being me?
I'm nobody, buddy.
Well, I'm somebody! And I can't have any nobody being this somebody, you goddamn... I don't know what the goddamn you are, but trust me, it ain't nothing I want to be, so you can't be me!
Quite away with words.
Oh, damn you, Theodore Levin! You're a snake! Damn you! Damn you, nobody!
Hey, I'm already damned.
Oh, God. But I can't take credit for that which I... Dem says I didn't. I'm an old man. This never happened to Achilles, to Gawain, or Caesar. It can't happen to me. I'm gonna kill both of you.
Sir, calm down.
I'm a legend!
Yes, you are!
All right. Well, let's prove it one more time.
I don't have to prove nothing to you, nobody.
No, of course you don't, but maybe you need to prove something to you.
You got quite a way with the words. Maybe you should write my book and we should kill Plato here!
No, let's not. Now, come on. Who should we kill? You kill.
Damn, I slayed my dragons years ago. I'm a tired old man.
Oh, no, you're drunk and you're bored.
Yeah.
You're a mess.
Well, I always hated Slim Grant. Oh, he killed my cousin. But that was years ago.
Where's Slim Grant? Who's Slim Grant?
This is him, an old friend of Mr. Calloway's.
He ain't no friend of mine.
He's state marshal now, out of Annesburg.
State marshal? Make a damn cousin killer state marshal, do they?
All right, I'll go get him.
Great. We'll wait for you at Brandywine Drop.
Just sober up and start practicing, otherwise this won't be a book. It'll be a memorial.
Yeah, whatever you say. You know what? I kind of like that fella.
What's fascinating about this scene is Theodore Levin feels the need to bend the truth and fabricate stories about Jim Boy Calloway in order to make his book sell. Though Boy Calloway himself interrupts this conversation to say that he can't take credit for something he did not do, which would explain his caginess with regards to Theodore Levin's questions, because there's just no story to be told as far as he's concerned. Obviously, he's drunk in this cutscene, so what he's doing could just be erratic impulsiveness caused by the inebriation that surely occurs when you drink all the time. And so now we're sent to find State Marshal Slim Grant up in Ansburg to help Boy Calloway get payback for the Marshal killing Calloway's cousin. So yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do.
You, looking for Slim Grant, State Marshal? Heard you boys know where to find him.
Oh, Mr. Marshall was here last week. I think he headed up to Beaver Hollow looking for some outlaws.
Is he coming back?
Sure, when he catches them fellers he's been after.
How long's he been gone?
Well, a couple of days.
You ain't going out to look for him?
If your boss's boss, who you all hated, went missing, possibly dead, at the hands of a bunch of violent wanted men, would you go looking for him?
Yeah, probably would, because I'm a fool.
Well, when he's dead, maybe I'll become marshal. I'll be a hero riding a horse from town to town, mister. Think of that.
Good luck with those dreams.
So now we must go and rescue the Marshal, killing a camp full of outlaws, and then taking the Marshal to where Levin and Calloway are waiting for us.
So you got him.
I think so.
Did you kill his cousin back in '82?
Whose cousin?
My cousin.
I never shot no one didn't deserve it.
You shot Jed Calloway.
And I told you then I'd shoot you too. And I would've. You'd shown up.
So it appears as if Grant challenged Boy Calloway and Boy Calloway decided to flee instead of face him, which resonates with what Black Belle said about Boy Calloway running away from a fight more often than he ran towards one.
I was there.
No, you weren't. You left town.
You take that back.
But I don't care now. It's nigh on 20 years ago. We're old men. We're lucky.
Fight me.
You're an old man.
Come on, fight me.
It's a bit late, isn't it?
God damn you! Oh.
Well, I think that settles that, then.
Shot him back. I shot him in the goddamn back.
These things happen.
God damn you, goddamn both of you!
Calm down, who cares? You should have shot him 20 years ago. Now he's dead.
You are a sickness scum like you and you, Plato. Come on, draw!
Why?
I said draw, goddammit!
No.
Yes!
So for all else that we might have proven Boy Calloway to be, he's still a very fast shot. In fact, if you don't cheat, the best you'll probably get out of this is a draw and you'll have to restart, and the only way to actually kill him here is to jump the gun a bit.
Shit indeed. Still, at least now you got an ending to your book.
He's dead.
Oh, don't you start now.
No, I'm not starting. I'm happy. I'm free. I can finally go back to writing westerns instead of being in one.
Yeah, he was pretty wild. And I know some wild people.
He was certainly complicated.
Sorry I shot him.
No, and you didn't shoot him. He did. In the back, after he mortally wounded Slim Grant. Fair and square.
Yeah, that's it.
Last of the gunslingers.
Well, more or less, I guess.
There's more?
There's always folks out there that'll shoot you in the back. And then rewrite history.
Oh, hey! Where do I send the money?
Send it to Jim Milton. And no, that ain't my real name.
So our western hero Jim Boy Calloway wound up shooting Slim Grant in the back, like a coward. Though he does wind up challenging us to a duel, though it's probably worth mentioning that he's more than likely drunk in this scene as well. Ultimately, the moral of this story is there are no western heroes. There's no such thing as honourable, there's no such thing as dishonourable, there is only survival, and then people who romanticise it in novels later on. What's fascinating is Calloway's revolver has the words Canis Canem Edit engraved on the barrel. Now this translates to dog eat dog, which basically means every man for himself. It's also believed to be a reference to Bully, another Rockstar game, but it kind of fits in with the moral of this side story as well. In a world where only survival of the fittest is important, honour is irrelevant, though that doesn't make for very compelling dime novel characters. The point is, the truth behind Jim Boy Calloway is, he wasn't so much the hero as the Western novels made him out to be. But I think that concludes today's video, so thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and all that wonderful stuff. That would be super appreciated. Maybe consider becoming a patron as well, though that is completely up to you as to whether or not you think it's worth it, but there is a lot of extra content over there if you so wish to seize that. And I will see you all very soon with another video at some point.